and then shuffle to it. All of these shuffles will be fine, no false shuffles, not a false shuffle. Now here's the group that was recorded. This is the only shuffle that will be false. And watch carefully, it looks as though I'm shuffling the cards. In fact, I'm not mixing the cards.
After the dealer finishes the false shuffle, the Tran players at the table must wait for their tracker to signal them that the winning sequence of cards are in play. Because they know the exact order of these cards and who's going to win, all bets are dramatically increased.
They only needed one person who really knew what the betting scheme was. So that one person will make a bet, and then everyone else that's with them at the table will make that same bet. All of a sudden, the entire table wins.
To perfect their skills, the Tran organization does a number of test runs at the small, quiet Saigon casino. At first, they stay low-key, keeping winnings down to a few $100s. But eventually, surveillance spots Van Tran not following shuffling procedure. She is fired. But by then, they know their scam works, and they're ready for larger action. By early 2003, the Tran organization has expanded to include about 15 family members. Soon, they take their cheat on the road to Cache Creek Casino near Sacramento, California. Before long, they are making big money. In just 1 month, they clear $158,000. They want more, but to do it, they'll need more insiders who are willing to fix the deck.
Because they went from jurisdiction to jurisdiction, they had to have different dealers cheating in every jurisdiction.
They would go into different casinos and they would just have a friendly chat up with the dealers. They tended to go for the people that might already have had a gambling problem, so they would pick out their vulnerabilities if they might have some financial situation or if they're just looking for a little bit of excitement.
If someone is on the fence about joining the organization, the Tran recruiters get creative.
Sometimes Van Tran would go into the casinos and kind of flirt with the guys, trying to get them to, well, maybe we can date a little bit if you want to try doing this cheat with us. And they would just play up that it's a great lifestyle, you're going to be so happy that you joined our organization, and all you have to do is learn how to do the shuffle.
By 2003, the Tran organization consists of several former dealers and card trackers. They all have inside knowledge of how to fix the game of mini baccarat and conceal it from anybody watching. They crisscross the country, scamming smaller casinos, winning thousands every time.
They will sit there for 2 or 3 decks possibly, and then they will leave, and they'll leave the city or the state.
The Tran gang is long gone by the time casino accountants notice something is wrong.
They have it down to a science where they want to know how each table is doing. So that's where the first inkling that something was wrong came from, because the table might lose 8% a night, and all of a sudden this specific table with this specific dealer is losing 15 to 20% a night. So they went to their video and realized it was all the same people playing. Since a lot of these gamblers that are cheating, they're all using their player clubs cards to get the free perks that go along with it. So the casinos have a record of exactly who was playing at the table, how much they cashed in for, how much they won.
At a gaming conference in 2003, casino security directors start to compare notes.
There had been intelligence in the community that members of the Tran family and Feng Trung were up to something. One of the security operators at Cache Creek Casino outside Sacramento had noticed that there was a certain group of people that were doing something wrong at their tables. They think they're cheating, they don't know exactly what.
The FBI begins trying to document the Tran organization's activities. The gang runs their operation with military precision, using cell phones and hand signals to communicate with each other. In this video, gang member Willie Tran is tracking cards and calling them back to a van where they are being recorded. He keeps his hair long to cover the cell phone earpiece.
He would bring his girlfriend with him so that his girlfriend would be playing, and he could be reading off the cards, but to anyone around them, it looks like he's just talking to his girlfriend.
After months of honing their skills, they are confident and believe they are ready to cheat Vegas.
They knew that Las Vegas would have been a cash cow for them if they could figure out how to get through their security. The security in Vegas is world class, and they knew it.
In late 2004, the Tran gang pulls into Vegas, but their reputation precedes them.
We were aware of the Tran organization, that they had been operating in California, and we thought that the possibility they would come to Las Vegas. We were not aware that Mr. Tran here was going to show up, but in fact, he was one of the ones that was running the operation here in Las Vegas.
In the video, we see Fat recording the order of the cards as they are played. After the false shuffle, Tran waits patiently for the portion of the deck that was never shuffled. Those are the cards they have the exact order for.
There are 3 members of the organization that are sitting around the table, and Fat is on the edge, signaling to these guys. The cards that Fat had recorded earlier start to play out on the table.
Here's how it unfolds. Fat Tran signals to the table that it's time to bet. The player in the center bets on the banker, knowing it is the guaranteed winner. Soon thereafter, other Tran insiders put down larger wagers on the same banker bet.
This is an instance where they won $18,000 between the 3 of them.
After the hit, Fat quietly rips up his handwritten log of the card order and disposes it in 2 trash cans in different areas of the casino. He doesn't know it, but everywhere he goes, he's on camera. Security collects the trash and pastes the Baccarat log back together. After 3 years of cheating across the country, authorities have what no one else could get: the hard evidence to bust the gang insider, Fat Tran.
They were on him like a hawk at that point. In December of 2004, they arrested him for conspiracy to cheat, and several of his members, including the dealer at Palace Station. Their greed, basically, of wanting more money and wanting more casinos to cheat at was their downfall.
Although weakened after the Vegas bust, the remaining members of the organization still won't give up the cheat, but once again, they'll need to find dirty dealers on the inside.
They were definitely more visible. And then since they were spreading out across the country trying to find these casinos, they were introducing a lot of new people to this scheme who went immediately to their security and their supervisor saying, there's this group out here and they're wanting to cheat.
The FBI also knows the gang needs dealers and are ready to help them find one.
John, how you doing? Hey, man, how you doing?
This is the actual undercover footage from the FBI sting as they catch insider Fon Tran trying to recruit a dealer.
We have a confidential informant who actually was a former dealer that was approached by the Trans. He got caught, and now he's trying to work off the beef. And he's introducing an undercover agent, who is this other gentleman. The undercover agent is posing as someone that's a dealer.
You know, what we do, surveillance cannot see.
Here, Fong is describing to his prospective dealer, that you really need to know what's happening in a casino and what's happening with security and what happens with the protocol to get away with things.
You only steal like once a month.
But Tran, like most crooks, can't seem to practice what he preaches. And in the same breath that he talks about being low-key, he brags about the spoils of his cheating.
I have 7 cars myself. Oh, for real? Okay. Turbo, Porsche, Mercedes, like park everywhere in front of my garage. Everybody know me.
In May 2007, armed with overwhelming video evidence, the authorities move in on the rest of the Tran organization. Fon Tran and 46 other members of the gang are indicted for racketeering, money laundering, and theft. Fon Tran is sentenced to 70 months in prison and ordered to pay back millions of dollars to the casinos and the IRS. Tai Tran is sentenced to 54 months in prison. In January 2011, Van Tran pleads guilty to racketeering charges and is awaiting sentencing.
We were able to prove that they had cheated $7 million over the course of the scheme. We do believe that they took more than that, but we were able to prove $7 million.
Not every insider comes from the casino. In the world of betting on professional and college sports, all it takes is an athlete who crosses the line to become the ultimate insider. Sports betting is big business in Las Vegas. In just 1 year, $2.4 billion was legally wagered at casino sportsbooks. And where there is money, there are cheaters.
I would say basketball would be the sport that would be easiest to do some business with, because you get one or two key players and they either play a bad game or they don't suit up. That affects the game dramatically.
Through the years, Vegas sportsbooks have had to deal with fixed fights, horse races, basketball, baseball, and football games, sometimes at the hand of a crooked player, owner, or referee. So the action on each of these games is closely monitored, because an intentionally missed goal can cost millions. Stephen Smith of Dallas, Texas, has been shooting hoops since he was 6 years old.
My mother said once I laid eyes on it, that was my sport, and I had to have a ball in my hands.
At 40, Smith seems like any other weekend warrior. It's hard to imagine he was once the main player in one of the most notorious college basketball betting scandals to ever hit Las Vegas.
When you're in your early 20s and you're immature, and all you're thinking about is girls, money, and stuff like that, you don't think about the consequences.
In 1994, senior Stephen Smith is captain of the Arizona State Sun Devils basketball team and a rising star. Pundits are already considering number 44 a lock for the NBA draft.
People started talking about NBA. I just kept working hard, just hoping, one day that my dream would come true.
Smith wants the NBA and everything that goes with it. But living large costs money, and Smith has none.
A young, immature athlete that's going to school, full scholarship, only getting $400-500 a month.
Then he meets 22-year-old campus bookie Benny Sillman, who introduces him to the world of sports betting.
Met him as soon as I got to campus. He was always around the basketball players.
But unfortunately, Smith is not nearly as good at gambling as he is at shooting hoops. Soon, Smith is $10,000 in debt to the local bookie. With no money, he's in trouble until bookie Sillman offers him a way out.
He said, fix the game. He was like, just control, the outcome. So you can win the game, but just make sure you don't win by however many points I tell you.
Oh, baby, you win by one, baby. That's right.
What Sillman is talking about is called point shaving, and it's illegal. At the time, Smith had never heard of it. But he figured as long as he didn't have to lose the game, no harm, no foul.
You know where I'm from, you say, gambling, you talk about shooting dice, playing poker. I wasn't educated to point shaving.
To understand point shaving, you have to understand sports betting. As strange as it sounds, casinos don't care who wins or loses. They just want half of the gamblers to bet on one team and half on the other.
Every game is not an even game. One team is usually superior to the other, so we attach points to it, so it balances the betting out.
The most common bet is based on the point difference between the two teams at the end of the game. To make teams even for betting, every game is handicapped. A point spread, or betting line, is used to level the playing field, so the underdog can be equal to the favorite. The point differential, or spread, is determined by Vegas odds makers, who are hired by the casinos to figure out how many points a team will be favored by.
So that bettors on both teams have an equal opportunity to win the bet.
Point shaving changes the odds when a player or group of players makes sure that their team's margin of victory is less than the point spread determined by the bookies. In order for Smith to get out of debt, Sillman will tell him how many points he can win by, and no more. For taking part in the scam, Sillman agrees to wipe out Smith's debt and pay him $20,000 for each game he shaves.
So I'm thinking, I can win the game? Oh, okay, cool.